There's a question that we all ask when we are facing trials, difficulties, maybe problems of various kinds. And sometimes we feel like we've been left alone. We feel like things are not working out the way we really want them to work out. But the reality is, we are only having a human experience. We are only having a human experience. Whatever is happening in this life is natural. It has to happen because we are humans. The problems, the trials, the pains, the difficulties, all these things happen because we are humans. And they have to happen because that is the way of life. There's no one who can lie that they've never experienced a certain kind of difficulty in their lives. You might have all the monies in the world. You might be the wealthiest man in the world. But there are certain things that you will face and you will be like, this is out of hand. And why do these things happen? Is it because God left us? Or God has just opened that door and left you alone? I don't think so. God exists, and we only reveal God by the faith we have. We manifest the beauty of God's glorious presence when we have faith. And the only way we can move to a greater height is when our minds are positively thinking about the reality of what faith can do. I'm going to talk about being transformed by trouble. Being transformed by trouble. Personally, I've experienced certain things in life, and in that particular moment, I felt like God is not available. And I felt like things are not working out for me. Friends are not there. Money is not there. And people cannot understand what I'm going through. But the beauty of it all is that when you positively think about where you are and where you're supposed to be, then you will overcome where you are, and you will become because of where you really want to be. Sometimes the pains and the difficulties in this life come into our lives to shape us. They come into our lives to transform us, to make us realize the experience we are having is not meant to make us die, but is to educate us and make us know that whatever is happening is to improve our lives, to mature us into a place of responsibility. We cannot keep on taking milk, drinking milk, and expecting to deal with mature stuff. It doesn't work like that. It takes a lot of responsibility, basically a lot of maturity to understand that milk belongs to children. So it is a high time for you now to outgrow that kind of idea and come to a place of now eating meat, chewing bones, and being in a place of now I can deal with certain situations and issues. So it's for you now to grow and become. So pains and difficulties and any kind of trouble that comes your way is to shape you. Your woman has left you. Your man has left you. Things are not working out for you. There is no job for you. You're not employed. The economy is bad for you. It's for you now to come to a place of realizing all these things are happening for your mind to grow, for your emotions to grow, that your emotions will stabilize and you'll be able to function well when your emotions are in a place of comfort. That now you'll be able to intelligently put things together without overreacting, knowing that how I'm dealing with things, it's solely based on what is in maturity. You know, God has a purpose behind every problem. He understands and he knows that all these things are happening. He uses circumstances to develop our character. All these things that are happening, God is using all these things to develop our character. In fact, he depends more on circumstances to make us like Jesus. Look at what Jesus went through. Then he depends on our reading the Bible. We can read our Bibles and we can do all those things. But at the end of the day, it will not improve us. But there are situations you'll find yourselves in. You'll find yourself in. And it is for you to know that whatever you're going through is to shape your character, to shape your mind, to shape who you are. The reason is obvious. You face circumstances 24 hours a day. Situations comes. Every situation that comes your way, they are there. And you have to ensure that as they come, you deal with every or with each one of them. And we see in the Bible, Jesus warned us about these many things. These things, they are going to happen to us. I'm going to read a passage here. See that Jesus is talking and saying, in fact, it is Peter who is talking and saying, don't be bewildered or surprised when you go through the fiery trials ahead. For this is no strange, unusual thing that is going to happen to you. But what he's simply saying is that it is common for man to experience these things. It is natural. It is a reality, a fact that we have to go through these things. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 17. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory. Whatever we are going through, it is not meant to kill us. It is only those who give up, die in the midst of becoming better. It is the fire of suffering that brings forth the gold of godliness. We are shaped through the fire. Our character is shaped through the fire. It doesn't matter what people have said. It doesn't matter what people are doing. God will ensure that you don't die in the midst. So God uses problems to draw you closer to himself. He allows such things to happen so that you can come closer to him. So it is not a matter of you crying and feeling like things are not easy, things are not okay. But you have to realize God is a God of allowing things to happen, because we have to experience life. We have to experience things as humans. But in the process, the grace of God is sufficient. He's not going to allow you to die. He's not going to allow you to die. But you have to experience all these things. Someone might ask a question, but why do we die? Why do we die? It is a human experience. Our flesh might die, but we are still alive. We are alive within us. And we are better within us. So the Bible says the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those who are crushed in spirit. So your most profound and intimate experiences of worship will likely be in your darkest days. When you're feeling like things are not working out, that is the time you'll feel like, oh, I need God more. And for sure, God is close to those who are brokenhearted, those who are crushed in spirit. So God could have kept Joseph out of jail. You know the story. He could have kept Daniel out of the lion's den, kept Jeremiah from being tossed into a slimy pit, kept Paul from being shipwrecked 3 times, and kept the 3 Hebrew young men from being thrown into the blazing furnace. But he didn't. He let those problems happen. He let those problems be experienced. And every one of those persons was drawn closer to God as a result. Problems force us to look to God and depend on Him instead of ourselves. I'm not saying that God gives you those problems. These problems are human. These situations are human. But God will just allow you to go through these very things so that you can experience Him. I want you to know whatever you're going through, it is not meant to kill you. Whatever you're going through, it is not meant to destroy you. The grace of God is sufficient. And God will make sure that you go through it so that you can grow through it. That is the reality of who God is. That is the beauty of what God can do. With His right arm, He will uphold you, and He will not allow you to be crushed. He will not allow you to be crushed.